Ravenswood was once a peaceful town. It was nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows. The laughter of children filled the air. The sun always seemed to shine a little brighter in Ravenswood, but those days were long gone. Now a perpetual twilight seemed to have settled over the town. The laughter had been replaced by a chilling silence. The air was thick with fear. The source of this fear? An abandoned mine at the edge of town. It had stood silent for decades, a looming shadow in the fading light. The townsfolk whispered tales of strange occurrences within its depths. They spoke of eerie lights and chilling sounds, but no one dared to venture near. Not anymore. The mine served as a constant reminder of the darkness that had crept into their lives. It was a symbol of the unknown terror that had stolen their peace, and it all began on a day much like any other. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the town square. Children played, their laughter echoing through the streets, but this time the laughter was cut short. The children were gone, vanished without a trace. The old mine stood at the edge of a small clearing. Twisted, gnarled trees surrounded it like skeletal guardians. Their branches, bare and lifeless, scraped against the mine's crumbling wooden supports. The air around the entrance hung heavy and still. A faint metallic scent, like the breath of a long-dead thing, wafted from within. It was here, on this day, that the children were last seen. They had been playing a game of hide-and-seek, their joyous shouts echoing through the clearing. One by one, they disappeared into the shadows of the surrounding woods. But as the light began to fade, and the first stars twinkled in the twilight sky, not all of the children emerged. Their calls of laughter turned to anxious cries. Their playful game had taken on a sinister turn. 3 children vanished that day. They were swallowed by the encroaching darkness. Little Timmy, known for his infectious giggle, was gone. Emily, with her bright red bow bouncing in her hair as she ran, had disappeared. And young Michael, always the protector of the group, was nowhere to be found. Their absence hung in the air, a chilling premonition of the terror that was to grip Ravenswood. As darkness deepened and the moon cast an eerie glow on the abandoned mine, the children's laughter was replaced by the frantic cries of their parents. The search began, desperate and heart-wrenching. But the woods held their secrets close. The mine remained silent, a looming spectre in the night, and the town of Ravenswood began to understand the true meaning of fear. The disappearance sent shockwaves through the once peaceful town. The cheerful rhythm of daily life came to a grinding halt. The streets, once alive with the laughter of children, were eerily deserted. Parents clutched their remaining children close, their faces etched with fear and uncertainty. The search for the missing children consumed the town. Day and night, the townsfolk combed the woods surrounding Ravenswood. They called out the names of their missing children, their voices hoarse with desperation. Lanterns bobbed in the darkness, casting flickering shadows that danced with the fear in their hearts. But the children were gone. Every rustle of leaves, every creak of a branch sent shivers down their spines. Whispers of the abandoned mine began to circulate. It had always been a source of unease, a place of whispered legends and unspoken dread. Now it took on a more sinister aspect. Some spoke of strange lights emanating from the mine shaft after dark. Others claimed to hear the faint echoes of children's cries carried on the wind. Fear, like a venomous fog, began to seep into the very heart of Ravenswood. The townsfolk, once a tight-knit community, now eyed each other with suspicion. Accusations were thrown, fueled by grief and desperation. The disappearance of the children had exposed a raw, primal fear that threatened to tear the town apart. Section 4, Sarah, a beacon of courage in a sea of fear. Sarah, a young woman with eyes as blue as the summer sky and a spirit as strong as the ancient oaks that lined the outskirts of Ravenswood, refused to give in to despair. She had always been drawn to the unknown, her heart filled with a thirst for adventure and a deep sense of justice. The disappearance of the children struck a chord within her, igniting a fire of determination in her soul. While others cowered in fear, Sarah volunteered to lead the search parties. She organized the townsfolk, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to the panic that threatened to consume them. She listened patiently to the whispers and rumors, her mind working tirelessly to connect the dots, to find a logical explanation for the impossible. Her own brother, Thomas, was among the missing. The thought of him trapped, alone and afraid, fueled her determination. She refused to believe that he was gone, that the mine had swallowed him whole. She spent countless hours poring over old maps, her fingers tracing the forgotten tunnels and shafts that honeycombed the earth beneath Ravenswood. The elders of the town warned her against venturing too close to the mine. They spoke of ancient curses and restless spirits, their voices trembling with a fear that ran deeper than any rational explanation, but Sarah refused to be deterred. She knew that the answers lay within the heart of the mine, within the darkness that terrified the others. Section 5. Venturing into the abyss. Sarah's descent into darkness. Armed with a lantern and a heart filled with a potent mix of fear and determination, Sarah stood at the mouth of the abandoned mine. The air around her hung heavy and still, thick with the scent of damp earth and decay. The entrance gaped open like the maw of some monstrous beast, inviting her into its depths. Taking a deep breath, Sarah stepped across the threshold and into the unknown. The darkness enveloped her like a shroud, the silence broken only by the frantic beating of her own heart. Her lantern cast long dancing shadows on the rough-hewn walls, making the familiar shapes of rocks and timbers seem grotesque and menacing in the flickering light. The air grew colder as she descended, chilling her to the bone. The faint scent of damp earth gave way to a cloying, metallic odor that sent a shiver down her spine. It smelled of something ancient and evil, something long forgotten by the world above. The tunnel twisted and turned, leading her ever deeper into the bowels of the earth. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the drip, drip, drip of water seeping from the mine's roof. With each step, Sarah felt a growing sense of unease. She told herself it was the darkness, the oppressive silence, the natural fear of the unknown, but deep down she knew it was something more. It was the feeling of being watched, of being hunted, being